Road to Redemption episode number 3. I'm here with my man, Dave Obeda, host of the successful Felon Show on YouTube as a podcaster, conspiracy theorist at heart. The man is in the front line, leading the protesters up there in Wellington, a reformed man on a spiritual journey. My doko, it's a pleasure to have you on the Road to Redemption podcast.
Much love, Doko, and thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you asking me, and bro, it's all love, brother. Always, you know how it is.
100%, because we chopped it up when I was doing my research project. This would have been a year ago, 18 months ago.
Yeah, over a year ago now, man. Time flies on,
bro. And to see the growth of the man,
yeah, I know,
bro,
man. It's crazy, isn't it?
You're killing it on YouTube, and you're killing it doing all the things that you're doing. Tell us for the listeners and the viewers, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you grew up, what's on your mind.
Yeah. So I'm originally from here in New Zealand. Moved to Australia when I was 14. Well, now, you know, I've got the podcast, got the YouTube channel, The Felon Show. But yeah, before that, you know, caught up in prison and gangs and drug addiction. Before being deported back here to New Zealand about over 4 years ago now.
Let's go.
So yeah, let's go, brother. So yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's been a blessing for sure. All glory to God, you know, of course. And but yeah, so yeah, originally from here in New Zealand though.
So take us back to tell us a little bit about your offending, how you found yourself in the prison system over there in Melbourne.
Bro, just, you know, when I moved to Melbourne, I sort of moved over there because I was getting kicked out of home here in New Zealand a little bit, running away from home and just getting caught up in the wrong crowd, bro, but just stupid things, man, you know what I mean, bro? And looking back now, just silly things, man, that teenagers get involved in, but sometimes reaction from parents, reaction from family of how that is going, they can sort of blow it up into more than what it actually is, just some lost kid, just a lost kid doing stupid stuff. But then it escalates, you know, because then they think you're this full-on bad kid when you're not, you know what I mean? But it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know what I mean? Like they can start telling you you're this and that, and then you end up becoming those things. But yeah, bro, just moved to Melbourne, you know, dramas with the stepdad as well over there. So turned to the streets. And then, you know, from there having to survive on the streets and, you know, start off stealing and then robbing and then armed robbing and then you know, searching, you know what I mean, all of that stuff, man, just any way to make money. And then, yeah, that just eventually landed me in prison, bro, at 19, just for a whole bunch of burglaries and assaults and things like that, searching, you know what I mean, if you guys call it in Sydney. So yeah, searching. And then, yeah, basically after that, just was in prison and pretty much until I got deported when I was 27.
So when you spent all that time in prison, entered the system at age 19, as you said, what was that sort of experience like? Tell us about, what was your jail experience like?
Oh man, just going to prison and then wanting to make a name for myself in there, man.
Just what was it like, just being young and just trying to prove yourself?
Bro, like the
like
first
reputation?
as soon as I got in there, man, like got into it with the Curries, man, like straight off the bat, you know, because I just something over count and someone had said something. I don't even know if he had said that though. My cellmate had said that, you know, one of them had said something because I was late to count. Which looking at now though, no one likes someone who's late to count, you know what I mean? Like, because then everyone's got to stand at their doors but yeah, bro, and then I just started shit straight away. Bro, just stuff like that, man. Just wanting to make a name for myself, sort of, if any sort of dramas arose, like putting my hand up straight away, like, you know, if money's owed or someone said this or something like that, like
just
that's
running the ball up.
but yeah, bro, yeah, just looking for an excuse just to incite violence, pretty much. Yeah.
And
but so I had a whole bunch of mates in there as well, though. Like when I went to prison and stuff, it's like, when I got to MRC, which is the remand center in Melbourne, like when I got there, I have like a whole bunch of mates there that I knew from the streets and things like that. So it wasn't because even though it was my first time in prison, I already knew a lot about it because by that point I was the only one who hadn't been locked up out of my group of friends, you know. So they had already told me like what the goal was, and then when I went to prison, yeah, just seeing all my mates and things like that, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's locked up, like you know, and all of
No.
that. Yeah. So yeah, bro, yeah.
And then is that when you got linked up with GFAM? How did GFAM come about? Was it just a bunch of Islander boys that congregated together to form this crew? How did that start?
Yeah. Oh, so yes. So I was a member of GFAM as well. So we co-founded that in Melbourne in the prison system over there. But yeah, similar. Well, because when I first went to prison and that with my group of mates, like we pretty much assumed like we're just gonna be bikies, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna join a club, and you know, because when I went to prison, like me and my mates and stuff, we didn't really know any bikies, you know what I mean? Like we didn't, because in Melbourne, you know what I mean? Like they don't really well, the bikie scene's growing a lot in Melbourne nowadays, but yeah, like when we went to prison and that, it's sort of like, yeah, no one really had any solid bikie connections or anything like that. So we thought, oh, you know, we'll join a club, you know, and or even, you know, like start a feeder gang to a club or something like that, you know, and then but then yeah, but as time started going on, and then we just didn't really know much about club life or anything like that. And then we're meeting all these different clubs though. But then like, because not everybody wanted to join a club though, out of the boys, like not everyone wanted to do that, you know what I mean? So then we just ended up forming our own thing.
Oh, that's how that got started, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So while you're in prison over those number of years, tell me about any epiphanies or any like sort of realizations or any defining moments that you had where you were like, shit, something needs to change, or else I'm just gonna keep heading down the same path, revolving doors. Did you have any moments like that inside?
Yeah, bro. Like I had heaps of mad epiphanies in there. To do with the Bible as well, you know, to do with God. Well, because I grew up in the church,
Yeah.
you know, which made me steer away from the church though as I was growing older, because even now, you know, I don't consider, even though I am a man of God and I do read the Bible, I'm not religious. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't follow like religion or anything like that, because I believe those are man-made constructs, you know, which unfortunately, like every other institution in this world, can be corrupted
Yeah.
because of money and things like that. But yeah, so yeah, definitely the Bible, man, reading the Bible when I was in there. Um yeah, there were other big moments that I had in there in reference to, like, there was things that were going on in my personal life, bro, at the time. Like, so this was about halfway through my last leg that yeah, things were going on in my personal life. And long story short, man, ended up with a broken heart and all of that, man. And then being stuck in jail as well. You know,
Mm,
you can't reach out to anyone, you know.
the head
So
noise,
it's
eh?
basically torture, man. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bad head miles, you know, and then like that, like, but real, like, broke me, you know what I mean? Really broke me in there. Like towards the end of my sentence and that, like people couldn't even recognize me really, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, didn't really want to talk to anyone, and like I just, yeah, and then no one to talk about it with, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
didn't want to talk about it, you know what I mean? So no one really knows what's going on, you know. So I don't want to talk about, you know, they're never having any privacy in prison too, you know. You got like 100 other guys in the unit, there's always noise, never get a moment's respite like to yourself.
100%.
So, but you know, looking back, man, that was what I needed, you know.
Yeah. You
It
needed
was
that.
what it's what had to happen. Like with what I'm doing now, there's no other way it could have happened than the way it's happened, you know. So
Hey, and that's a beautiful thing. And I know exactly what you mean when you because I've been there myself, felt, so trapped but so lonely within a yard full of like 100 inmates, and no
exactly,
one
yeah.
no one no one's I guess capable to hold that safe space and allow you um to share what's on your heart and what's on your mind. because
Yeah.
in prison we put on these masks, this massive
Yeah.
facade of this ego.
Mm.
We have to be staunch. We have to be tough, or else we'll get attacked.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's right. And because it's hard as well, because at the same time, it's like, because the boys and that some are doing long sentences and all of that, you know what I mean? It's like they don't want to hear that shit, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
they got their own shit going on, man, you know what I mean?
hundred percent.
They looking at another brick or two in here, like they don't want to hear that either, because then
Yes,
that's gonna fuck with their facade, you know what I mean? So they don't want to hear
yes.
that shit either, you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, and I was mindful of that when I was around lifers while I was
Yeah.
inside. You don't talk about getting
No.
released. That's a no-no. You don't talk
No.
about time, life on the outside.
Yeah.
Um, but talk to me about you ended up in the HMP at Barwon Supermax. Was
Yeah,
that when
yeah.
you were at your lowest, or tell me about that
Nah,
experience?
that was before that. Oh, so nah, well, because when I first went to prison and that, like I was sort of always in and out of there. Like first off, just doing little stints and like little 2 week stints for like fighting, and then carrying a shiv, and then like just those little ones, and then getting involved in like riots. And then, after my first one, that was when I went to Barwon up there in Acacia and like Melaleuca, Banksia. There's a few, but yeah, just going around getting transferred around and all of that. That was my first taste of that. Um, Obviously, man, it does mess with your mental um makeup being held in long-term solitary confinement. I mean,
Hundred percent.
there's been studies on it, like and you see it yourself in there, like you see people, um like I got a few mates now, that have been through those sorts of units, and they just never came right again,
Mm,
like even now, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like some are now the guys that you see drinking at bus stops talking to themselves, man, unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like real solid dudes though, a couple of years back, man, like rock solid on the yard, you know what I mean? Like, but just because that's the thing, the prison system, they get you, you know what I mean?
Hundred
Like
percent.
they'll
Yeah.
get you, you know what I mean? If they hate you enough, they'll get you,
Yeah.
and they'll get it through here, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then but then unfortunately when they do mess with your mind like that, sometimes it's irreversible,
Mm,
so
that's for life. That's long term, eh?
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, went through there. Like most long term, oh well, because in Melbourne they call it long term management. So yeah, basically went through all of the units in Victoria anyway, that like the Supermax and the different units they got. So I went through almost all of them during my time in prison. Um Even when I did have that really hard awakening during my last stint. Even then, afterwards, did sort of find myself in solitary even after that, just over drugs and allegations and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely something I don't miss though.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. Don't miss prison at all. So, what year did you get out? How long have you been back in New Zealand for?
2018, I got out, so almost 4 years,
So
man.
4 years,
Almost
brother.
4 years.
You got
Yeah, four
deported in
years.
2018. You've been out of prison for 4 years, brother. That's a win in
Long
itself,
time.
brother. That's a
Winning
long
itself,
time. So,
man. That's a
I
long
bro,
time.
I acknowledge and commend you for doing that, bro, and like becoming the man that you are now to reform and to stay out. So let's talk about that, bro. This road to reforming and becoming the man that you are now. I know it's got a lot to do with the spiritual quest, and I do find it's a common theme with a lot of brothers. They do go down that spiritual path. What was it for you, bro?
Um, oh, bro, getting deported back, first of all, when I first got back from New Zealand, from Australia, it was real tough, man. Hated it here. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Really didn't want to be here. Never thought I'd come back to New Zealand ever. Most of my support networks were back there as well. So when I come back here, yeah, man, I started hitting the grog. You know what I mean? Was still doing drugs and all of that. Working though, so I came back. I got straight into work in that furniture moving, um, which was my saving grace. So I just worked every day, man, Monday to Sunday, just
Yeah.
working, because that was like my fuck, because my head was just so fucked when I came back. Like I was in a real bad place coming back. Hadn't healed from what had happened back in Melbourne, you know. So just coming back, I just yeah, turned to the alcohol, turned to drugs. Knew I wasn't gonna go back to prison though. So I got going back to prison, I made that choice. Like, nah, I don't want to go back inside.
So that was off the cards for you.
Yeah, nah, that was nah. Well, because I was just so messed up, I was like, fuck, I don't think I could handle it again. Like I barely got out of there. You know what I mean? Like dealing with suicide and wanting to commit suicide and all of that, bro. Those real dark head spaces. So I didn't
100%.
think I was gonna last this time, you know, being here in New Zealand and stuff. So decided I wasn't gonna go back to jail, but did self-medicate, you know what I mean, if you want to call it that. You know, with the drugs and the alcohol. Um, but yeah, even though I was drinking and doing alcohol, though, I was actually doing all right working as well because I could just hide it, bro, because of being able to put that mask on in jail.
Mm.
Like I can just like, I could work, I could conversate, I could, you know, do all of that really well, you know what I mean, real well, but inside I'm like dying, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm dying inside, you know what I mean. But yeah, from the time in jail and now we know how to hide that, you know, we know how to hide it real well.
For sure.
um and then yeah, eventually, man, even though I was working and doing all of that, man, still lost as still self-medicating. But then yeah, eventually got back into, you know, the spiritual side of things and finding God again. And I mean, yeah, that was really what motivated me to get onto the path where I am now and trying to give back, trying to raise awareness, you know, and yeah.
Bro, because I see it in you, that shift when you've shifted onto the spiritual quest. You're just walking with intent. You are content, but you're like when you speak with purpose. Um, Tell us about the lifestyle change you made with your diet.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like, so when I got onto the spiritual like quest, like had a huge spiritual awakening, like massive, like couldn't even put it into words, you know, but had a huge spiritual awakening. And it's gotten to the point now where yeah, I don't drink, don't eat meat now, don't eat dairy, you know what I mean? Full gone, you know, plant-based. Never thought I'd end up doing that though.
Yeah,
Never in a million years would I thought I'd stop eating meat, drop 40 kilos, you know, like
like that, eh?
full-blown spiritual awakening, you know what I mean? Like when I
Yeah,
say spiritual awakening, it's just like I felt the hand of God, you know,
yeah.
on me. And he showed me a vision of what he wanted for me, you know what I mean, in my life and what my whole life was purposed for anyway, you know
Yeah.
what I mean. And I saw that, and that was when I started the show and all of that. You know, most people didn't think it would even get, you know, half to where it is now, and I'm not even halfway on the journey yet, you know what I mean.
Bro,
But
you're just getting
because
started.
yeah, but that's the thing, you know what I mean. When God gives you a vision, you just got to go with it and don't worry about what anyone else is going to say, because he didn't give them that vision. So how are
Mhm.
they going to speak on something that they haven't seen, you know what I mean?
Let's
Only
go.
he only gives you the vision, you know, so you just got to have faith and just march on, eh?
That's powerful, bro. Thank you for those wise words, man. Bro, I'm so happy for you. Let's segue into the Felon Show. I remember when you were just getting it started. You're just starting off.
Yeah, guys.
Bro, you're asking me questions. I'm gonna ask you questions now. Hey, it's come full circle. So definitely
Yeah,
after
but
this podcast, I'm gonna be tapping into how I build my YouTube skills and following up. Tell us about the Felon Show. What is the Felon Show?
Oh, so the Fallen Show, man, just stories of redemption. Doko, you know how
Let's
it is.
go.
That's all we're doing, brother. Stories of redemption, man. Sharing people's stories, giving brothers who don't have platforms, giving them platforms, you know what I mean, to speak on things and to you know, just do all sorts of things. Like, well, like you said in the intro, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist as well. So that was how I started off in the whole YouTube space. I started, yeah, just, you know, yeah, conspiracy theory type stuff, what people would consider that. But that was where I started off. And then when I got used to this and, you know, sort of the whole YouTube thing, then from there I thought, oh well, actually, man, like I could do more here. You know what I mean? On YouTube, it's not hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that hard. So then I started interviewing like the boys and stuff. I started like calling the boys and, hey, you want to jump on? You want to jump on? You want to jump on?
And with
Heaps
your
said no. Heaps
with
said no
yeah,
though. You
yeah,
know
of
what I
course.
mean?
No, 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 no,
Heaps
no.
say no.
No, no
Heaps
interview.
say
Hey,
no.
as soon as they hear interviews, they're like, nah, nah, nah. I'm not talking.
Heaps said no. Heaps said no. But people said yes though as well. And you know, that was enough. You know what I mean? The few that said yes, that was enough for it to take off. You know, because a lot of the like mates and stuff, I never really thought of, like, because I just thought, oh well, a lot were bikies and things like that, but I never look at it like that. But then when I realized, oh well, actually, some of these dudes are actually presidents, and you know, I mean, some of them started their own ones, and then I thought, oh well, fuck, people are actually interested in this stuff. You know what I mean? So
A lot of
um
people are obviously,
yeah,
as you know.
heaps, man. So it was just yeah, it was just a blessing, eh? But yeah, just started uploading the content. You know, at first, you know, they were barely getting any views, you know what I mean, barely any. But over time, you know what I mean, over time, it just grows and grows and grows. You know, once you crack those algorithms and, you know, start getting supported by YouTube with the whole recommendations and all of that thing, then it starts taking off. But I could already see it from the start, you know what I mean, even
Yeah,
though it had barely any views, and I was like, no, gonna do all goods here, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Once it takes off, it's gonna
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
Let's go, man. And what are your plans for the Felon Show? Are you gonna just keep interviewing the people of stories of redemption? What's your sort of thoughts around?
So at the moment, so I'll give you a little exclusive. So I'm actually working on like a new segment called Hood Diaries, where I'll be going around to different neighborhoods in that GI,
Let's go.
Angry, all the hoods across New Zealand. I'll be cruising through cameras and stuff like that. And just getting taken around, man. It's similar
Wow.
concept to hood vlogs. If you've ever seen hood vlogs on YouTube, he goes around the different neighborhoods in America, you know what I mean? And basic as concept, like nothing major, you know what I mean? Just walking around the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, this is the school here, you know, well, getting boys to take me around, you
Yeah,
know what I
of
mean?
course.
And yeah, showing me around the spots and things, telling us different yarns in the area. Um, yeah, just doing that, man. I got a few things planned like that, like outside of the podcast stuff. So hopefully start working on some short movies and proper docos,
Let's
and
go.
yeah, man, that's the aim now. So shooting for the stars, man. Nothing
Let's
less
get
than that.
100%, bro. That's us.
Yeah.
Tell us about any. So I found out one of the boys that I done jail with got knocked yesterday. I've
Yeah, I
had
saw that on your Instacast, man.
I've had a number of boys that I've either been in the system with, new in the system, did time with, either OD, get shot, get stabbed, or dead now, bro. Have you had any experiences like that? How many boys have you seen that are not here no more?
Yeah, now there's a couple as well, bro. Not all people that were say in my gang and things like that, but you know, and other boys that I have met in prison, yeah, there's a few that's been shot, bro, a few that's been dead now, a couple OD'd as well. More than a couple have OD'd, unfortunately. Fuckers, they just get out, bro, and then they just have their shot, and you know, they just, it's too much, you know what I mean? It's too much for them, and they end up dying, man. So it's sad as,
It
man.
is,
You know what
bro.
I mean? It's sad
It
as,
is.
especially the heroin stuff, man. I fucking hate hearing people dying from that. You know what I mean? Like, just, you know, died out in a fucking car somewhere. You know what I mean, bro? Fucking just nodded over the fucking, you know, and then got kids and stuff as well, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And then yeah, bro, I got, you know, different bikey mates. You know what I mean? That have been shot and died. You know, but then that's their life though, eh?
that
You
is that
know, it's
life,
just
bro.
that's that life, man. It's just, you know, Yeah, live by the gun, die by the gun, man.
100%. It's either there's two ways. You're gonna pay with your time or pay with your life, man. And it's sad to see a lot of the brothers just be jailbirds, go in and out,
Oh, bro.
revolving doors. It just breaks my heart to
Mm.
see a lot of our brothers still in that headspace. And it's good that I have people like you out here that were just out here trying to pull as much of our brothers and sisters, bro, out of the system to show them a different pathway, give them a different option.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. And we're doing it though, man. You know what I mean? We're doing it. You know, a lot of people are watching us and are inspired by us for sure, man. So it's awesome.
Let's keep it up and let's keep going. Any sort of final words for someone that's listening? Maybe it's someone that has someone that's in prison or someone that's coming out of the system. How do they adjust and adapt and transition to this life outside?
Man, especially for deportees, man, but for everyone across the world, but especially for deportees, you really gotta dig in, man. You know what I mean? After coming back here to New Zealand, you really gotta be prepared that it's gonna be hard. You know, like there's no two ways about it, man. It's gonna be tough coming back here. So you gotta really dig in deep. You gotta really find that inner reason of why you want to change, if that is what you want to do. Then really find that reason, write it down, fucking write it down a few times, man. Place it around your room or whatever you want to do. But just because it is going to be tough, man. It's tough getting
100%.
out of it's tough getting out of jail in general, man. So you really got to be prepared to dig in deep, because that's where a lot of people mess up, man. You know what I mean? A lot of boys get out thinking you know, it's all going to be easy and we're just
Yeah.
gonna you know what I mean? Or even if they don't want to turn their lives around, oh yeah, I'll go out and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, make money and this and that. But when you look at the criminal world as a whole and how many people actually crack it and make mad money, it's only like this, man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? The rest, it's all mostly petty criminals, man. You know what I mean? They're just in and out, in and out, in and out. You know
Getting
what I mean?
used, eh?
Yeah, the ones that actually make money and kill it, though, it's only a small, tiny percentage, man. It's a hard life. It's a life of struggle. Uh, um, and the longer you stay in that life, the worse of the struggle is gonna be. You know, just for me, I'm just thankful that I got out of that still in my 20s. You know what I mean? Because you know, everybody does reach that stage, but mostly it's in their 50s, you know, and they're already old
Yes.
by then, you know. But everybody in that world comes to the realization one way or the other that it's not it, you know what I mean? That's not the life you want to live. But yeah, just earlier the better.
100% docs. I totally agree with everything you said. I just want to thank you, Doko, for jumping on my podcast, bro. I love your heart and I love the transformation that you've become, the man that you've become, and the path that you're going down, bro. It's so powerful. I'm sure our listeners will definitely feel inspired and empowered by hearing this podcast.
Yeah, nah, thank you, Doko, and cheers for having me on, man. Like you said, you know, when we did that podcast, almost 2 years ago now, you know, that was me transitioning. You know, that was me transitioning, and now, you know, that's why I always got big love for you, Doko, because that was my first podcast, you know, and that it was where I could start speaking and start you know, speaking into life what I actually wanted to do, you know. And so yeah, big love for you always, fella.
No, thank you, Doko. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, don't forget to leave us a review, leave us your thoughts. If you're watching via YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. I need to get some subscribers like the Felon Show here with Dave. But leave me your comments and leave me your thoughts. And don't forget to go and support my brother on the gram. On the gram, you're just that King
Oh,
Dave.
just the fella, yeah. Oh, that King Dave, that's my personal account. But yeah, the Felon Show, just the_Felon_show.
And also go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's doing amazing things on that platform. But brother, it's been a pleasure, and no doubt we'll do more episodes in the near future. And I'll definitely come and catch up with you when I'm up there in Auckland again.
Oh yeah, we'll catch up again, brother. Yup, for sure.
All right, love you, docs.
Love you, brother. Peace.